The Cartier Roadster S, a kind of more casual, sportier roadster. We'll cover it right here at SwissWatchExpo. Fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo, we've got the Cartier Roadster S. Now, if you haven't seen this before, it's pretty interesting. Cartier sort of came out with I guess a last hurrah for the Roadster right before it was retired from the collection. Not really sure why they retired it. It was still sort of at the peak of its sales in 2010 when they decided to kill the whole line, but we've still got them available here at SwissWatchExpo. We have phenomenal examples of the Cartier Roadster in all its different iterations. There's a small for women with a quartz movement. There's the traditional large with the automatic movement and no chronograph. And then there's the extra large, which has either a second time zone GMT function or a chronograph. But interestingly different in the mix is the Roadster S. So this came out in 2010, really only made, I guess, for 1 year because the Roadster line left the catalog after that. But it really had a lot of interesting differences to it. And so we'll show you what those are here this morning. The original Roadster was really mostly high polish. And you can see the case lines were very rounded. It had a lot of interesting automotive cues built into it. The screws here on the lugs are recessed, a lot like the headlights on an Austin Healey. The bubble for the date magnifier looks like the shape of the cove on the early Corvettes, the C1. Even the crown looks like it's transmission gears or something. But the reason they called it the Roadster was that it's a convertible watch. A Roadster is a convertible car. This is a convertible watch. It was one of the first watches that Cartier did with an easy to remove bracelet system where you could snap on a strap, maybe an alligator one to dress it up, or a ballistic nylon to make it look even more casual. So it has a lot of automotive cues. Love that about the watch, but being all high polish and having a lot of rounded edges, it is a pretty dressy sport watch when it comes down to it. So they came out in 2010 with this Roadster S, which stands, I presume, for Roadster Sport. But you can see there's a lot of differences between the two. For one thing, it's a different size. It's larger than the original large. The original large was 38 millimeters by 43. The original extra large is 43 by 49. And then this one falls right in the middle at 46 by 46. So it's sort of between the large and the extra large. But you can also see there are differences on the dial itself. It sort of looks like the Tank Solo and the Roadster got together and had an offspring, because the dial is very reminiscent of the Tank Solo. It's one layer where the original Roadster is sort of a step dial. It has different finishes and different levels so that it adds a lot of extra interest. You can see the hands are different. They're a lot thinner, and there's no date bubble at all. So they removed that. The overall color of the dial, again, very similar to the Tank Solo. The case itself, you can see the bezel is now satin finish instead of high polish, and it's not raised like the original Roadster. It's more flush with the rest of the watch. The case is very different. Instead of having multiple parts and this built-up area around the crown is a lot smaller, but the case is just a lot more simple. It doesn't have nearly as many lines or as many things going on. And then the bracelet, you see a huge difference. It really looks like the Tank Solo bracelet. It has these 3 rows of flat links that are all brushed, where the original Roadster links are curved and the outside is high polish and the middle is brushed. The clasp looks very similar. It's a hidden Cartier double deployant clasp. The case back looks very similar to the original. It has the word Roadster written in sort of a 1950s automobile font. But the price point was lower. It still beats with an automatic movement at its heart, and you still get the basic time and date functions, but definitely a more casual look. Sometimes when people look at the sportier watches from Cartier, like the Pasha or the Roadster, they still feel like there's a little bit too much high polish going on for their tastes. So if you like a a watch, maybe you like the look of the Navitimer, but it's just too much high polish on the bracelet for you. You might look at this Roadster S. They're not real common. We don't get them. They're real often. They're pretty hard to come by in today's market. But we do have the full collection here at SwissWatchExpo. Give us a call. Click the bell to like, subscribe. Let us know which one you think would be the best fit for you and where you'd wear it. And we'll see you next time here on Fresh from the Showcase.